Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a rig that's pure retro gold. If you're a solo performer, grinding it out in coffee houses, small bars, or pizza shops, you know the struggle. You need gear that's tough, easy to set up, and has a certain vibe. Studio perfect sound isn't always the goal. Reliability is. That's why this vintage Radio Shack setup is so special. Let's break down why this classic gear is still a killer choice for the modern gigging musician. First up, the heart of the system, the realistic MPA-90 amplifier. This thing is an absolute tank. It's a mono, solid-state amp pushing out 100 watts of RMS power. For a solo act constantly loading in and out, its rugged build is a lifesaver. But its secret weapon for small, crowded venues is the anti-feedback control. This is basically a notch filter that lets you kill those piercing squeals when you re-crammed into a tight corner right next to your speakers. It's a feature that has saved more gigs than you can imagine. Paired with the amp, we have the PA-95 speaker system. These are passive sound reinforcement cabinets, each with two 10-inch woofers and a piezo horn tweeter. Now, let's talk about their sound signature. Their frequency response starts at 100 Hz, which means you're not going to get that deep thumping bass you'd want for electronic tracks. But for what we're doing, that's a good thing. It makes them perfect for vocal clarity and helping your acoustic guitar cut through the noise of a busy room. They're built from particle board, which is durable, but can be a bit heavy and doesn't love moisture, so keep that in mind. Now for the spice, the realistic 32 to 110 OA stereo mixer. This is a classic disco mixer that adds a ton of flexibility. You can use it to fade between different sources, like your instrument and a phone playing music during your break. The twin view meters not only look cool, but also help you keep an eye on your levels. Yes, these mixers are known for having a bit of a hiss. But let's be real, in a room full of people chatting and eating pizza, nobody's going to notice. It just blends into the ambient noise. Rounding out the setup is the realistic highball dual impedance mic. This mic is the definition of a rugged all-rounder. Being dual impedance means it's super versatile. You can run long cables without signal loss, or plug it directly into a high impedance input if you ever need to bypass the mixer in a pinch. It's a reliable workhorse that just gets the job done. So, how do we get the absolute best sound out of this vintage rig? Here are a few pro tips. First, for the cleanest vocal sound, plug your microphone directly into the MPA-90 amplifier, not the mixer. The AMP's dedicated mic preamps are quieter and more robust than the ones on the budget mixer. Use the mixer for your line level signals, like a laptop for backing tracks or your phone for break music. This strategy keeps the notorious mixer hiss away from your main vocals and instruments. Next, speaker placement. Since these speakers naturally roll off bass below 100 Hz, you can use the room to your advantage. Try placing them directly on the floor or near a corner. This is called boundary reinforcement, and it uses the room's acoustics to naturally boost the low-end frequencies, making your overall sound feel much fuller and warmer without any extra EQ. Finally, managing feedback. In those super tight coffee shop gigs where you're right on top of your speakers, use the MPA-90's anti-feedback dial, but use it sparingly. It's designed to cut the specific frequencies that cause that horrible howling sound. Turn it slowly until the squeal just disappears. This will kill the feedback without sucking all the life and character out of your vocals. All in, for under $400, you can piece together this entire vintage system. It proves that you don't need the latest and greatest gear to sound good and put on a great show. This setup is all about character, durability, and a warm retro vibe that's perfect for intimate settings. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content on awesome vintage gear. See you in the next one.